What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and, of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
A new week here at MCF. And it's wave 2 of free agency here. Second wave, third wave. Kind of we're going to be seeing this week. And are the Cowboys going to make any moves? We did today. Some familiar face that we're going to have in the house here running back. As well as some goodbyes from Tyron. And another big goodbye from LVE. The guy we saw drafted live in full effect, right? With Kendricks.
Full circle.
Getting certain things. Our replacement linebacker for LVE got his number. Kind of Sean Lee-ish, if you know what I mean. Plus Jerry Jones and, Stephen Jones and Dak Prescott getting some more salary cap space open there. We'll talk about that and more right here tonight on My Cowboys Family, kicking off a brand new week. And before we get there, let's shout out those that are repping this week on the board. Some new names on some new places. So let's start off with the person who took over in a way, Deadfool. Appreciate you, Deadfool.
Ooh, not just taking over as the sponsor of the week, but also the Cash App King.
Right, he's dropped them through the PayPal, and he's dropped them all through the After Dark sessions, MCF After Dark, and that does count connected to this channel. So, yes, Deadfool takes over basically both of these Cash App and Sponsor of the Week board. So much love to Deadfool, who, beat out legends out there like McLovin and of course, Mark Hovsepian. Mark Hovsepian, by the way, 66 points on the Stream Boss, right there, just a little bit in the green right now on that Stream Boss running the stream. So appreciate you, Mark Hovsepian, always repping that star over everything in Hawaii. And then the gifting champion. You'll see, right now there's no gifting leaders. It's a brand new week, but the gifting champion, you know his name, Jason Renfro. He dropped 3 last week, and that's all you needed to do. That's all you had to do to get past Skeptical Fan to win last week with the championship there. And much love to Jason Renfro repping the gifting board this week. Now, there's no gifting leader, but there's leaders all over the place here. If you look into the Cash App side of things, Deadfool is not the leader, but we do have somebody from that same section of things, the After Dark session. Said it last night, right before we ended. We had SCO971 drop a $10 holler.
Woo!
A little good evening, MCF, for the MCF After Dark session. And that is what leads off, not just he was the first place, but he's still first place when it comes to the Cash App side, because he dropped it through the he dropped it to the Cash App. So appreciate SCO971, first place right now on that Cash App board. And then on the overall board, we do have a couple of people that did drop some love, like tonight here, pre-stream, Dwayne Broussard dropped a $4 holler, and Skeptical Fan dropped a $2 holler. What did these ballers have to say, baby?
So Dwayne Broussard said, "Go Cowboys."
Hell yeah.
As always, thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate you. And Skeptical Fan said, the Cowboys are doing the bare minimum this year.
I mean, even below the bare minimum, let's be real.
Like there must be some league requirement that you have to make X amount of moves to be considered a football team.
There is a certain requirement that you have to use a certain amount of cash. The Cowboys are always like barely over that line on purpose, because they don't like to say that they're manipulating the cap, because they don't want to see players come here and use that cap against like say, hey, we only if a player comes over and sees we got $30 million as negotiation possibilities, they come over and see 4, they ain't coming over.
On one hand, I appreciate Stephen Jones's dedication to making sure we never enter cap hell again, thanks to Jerry's whims.
We're literally going into cap hell because of the way they handled Dak's contract. So yeah,
that's all Stevie. Yeah. Anyway, but we have other things to talk about here.
Skeptical, okay.
Yeah, that's on his comment.
Okay.
That was his comment.
Bare minimum. Dwayne Broussard, Go Cowboys, much love. And 2 other people entering the membership back in the star level. 2 ladies, lovely ladies, Marissa Sparkle and Mary Alvarez. Both of them back in the star level of our membership board. There's 4 different levels: navy, blue, silver, star, and over everything. And back in that star level, that's a premium elite club there. Much love to both these ladies who's back on that board, and also tied for first place on the overall board right now as we speak. So appreciate you guys, everybody in the house. And we'll, update this thing as, at the end of the week on Sunday night, we always crown some champions, some repeats. We see some streaks go or some new faces show. Either way, appreciate everybody in the house. And I think we did all the pre-stream shout-outs and stuff, but we have to let you know how to get in this thing. If you want to battle SCO971, the Cash App side, there's a couple ways of doing that. But even before that, there's also the overall board, and that's the Super Chats. You can do that, as you saw with Dwayne Broussard, Skeptical Fan. You can give a thanks drop with the thanks button after a stream or a video posts. You can also drop the love by jumping in the membership, like we just said, Marissa Sparkle, Mary Alvarez in the star level. And there's also gifting memberships, which right now there's nobody gifted anything, but last week's Jason Renfro is a champion, so he's repping it this week. And again, that's another really great way of helping the channel, but not just dropping the love for the channel, but also giving someone the Navy Blue month of membership. So thank you guys that do that. Also, there's 4 other ways you can not just affect the overall board, but attack the crown of the Cash App, which is either Dead Fool, Sponsor of the Week, and Cash App King, and right now SCO971, who's running that board in first place. What are the 4 ways, baby?
Of course, you have the Cash App money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, that Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Boom, you know how it goes. And you know how else it goes. Jason Renfro's repping it here in the super chat side. I see it on my phone with a dollar holler and a go Cowboys.
Woo.
So that Marco Seppian, there it is. I'm Marco Seppian going for 66 to 65 points on the stream boss. Also, as we finish up here, there's a couple shout outs before we get to the chat and who's in the house with us tonight. Like the star and over everything level membership shout outs. You know how that goes. And by the way, in case you were wondering, there's also the the monthly star level and over everything level membership raffle that we have a sewn and stitch jersey, a lot of jerseys to choose from, authentic like new guys or old guys, old school Hall of Famers, whatever, and also weekly winners getting thrown into these as well. I'm saying guys like Deadpool, guys like Jeremy Bramlett. These guys, they were the big winners on the last couple of weeks. They're going to be also getting a raffle entry for this, so that happens at the end of March. Good luck to the star and over everything and those weekly winners. Appreciate all you guys. And now let's also do those shout outs, because the star level and over everything level, they both get shout outs on the nightly, because you guys represent this channel, make the things come true here. So let's get those shout outs, baby.
Thank you very much, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Marissa Sparkle, Andy Potched, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and C. Bass is over everything.
Yeah, appreciate everybody on those boards, and everybody in the Navy Blue and Silver 2 levels as well, and everybody in the chat tonight, which, by the way, let's do them shout-outs. Who's in the house so we can talk some Cowboy football?
Tyrone Church, much love, and trust me, we're going to talk all about Rico here shortly. Eric Wallace, what's up, much love, of course. Jason Renfro, the man himself. Matt Batten, hello and hi. Thomas Garrett, the superior. Garrett. Dustin Roberts, what's up? James Herr, hello and hi. Burn Bar, Von Gang.
Yeah.
We have Dallas Cowboy 92 in the house.
Yeah.
Let me see who else is here. Kind of rolling back a bit. Even Lee Side, I guess. He's here to talk real football. Yeah. Dallas Cowboy 92, much love. Griff 181, peace to you. Mater 97, rocking out with us. Juan Carlos, hello and hi. MCF After Dark, who's that?
Sticking his eyeballs.
Chris Bina, what's good with you? Thanks for being here. Stephen White, what's up? Mike Aldana, much love. Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Let me see. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. El Cool. Hey, you were first. Good for you.
Yeah.
Let me come back down. I think that's everybody here as of now. So as more people trickle in, I'll make sure to give them their proper shout-outs. So, baby, let's jump into it.
Listen, let's start with the NFL, and it starts with reprimanding the San Francisco 49ers. I love it. The Niners are going to forfeit their original 5th-round selection, which is basically second to the last pick of the 2025 draft. So next year's draft, I guess it's not. We don't know yet where they're going to fall, right? But they're wherever they land this year, with their record, and if they end up 12 wins, but then they knocked out the divisional round, they'll probably have like the 26th pick or something like this. That 26th pick of the 5th round of the 2025 draft will be taken away from them. They're losing that pick completely. And they're also having this year's 2024 4th round selection, which is number 131, drop to the back behind all the compensatory picks, which unfortunately for everybody else, it's only 4 spots. They go from 131 to 135. So they go back 4 spots in the part of this reprimand. not a big reprimand there. But
Yeah.
next year they get a whole draft pick taken away in the 5th round. Why this happened? This action resulted from a league review that found administrative payroll accounting errors at the close of the 2022 league year. And this resulted in misreporting the club's cumulative player compensation. The NFL determined that the team would have remained under the salary cap has to remain under the salary cap at all times regardless of the error. And since they weren't, and they were, there was no intent, even if there was no intent to kind of go around the cap, they still had to keep under. They did not, because of the error. They were over the cap at a certain point. They were not supposed to be. Boom. That's where the error. That's where they get penalized. The Niners, and the Niners had a statement. They said, "quote We take responsibility and accept the imposed discipline from the NFL due to a clerical payroll error. At no time did we mislead or otherwise deceive the NFL to gain a competitive advantage in connection with the payroll mistake." So that's their words on that.
I do genuinely believe it, and I can understand why, the punishment now was so minor. You know what I mean? Like, they did have to punish them. They couldn't just let them, quote-unquote, get away with it. But it does sound like it was just some kind of, someone accidentally hit an extra zero somewhere. Next thing you know, they're over the cap for a few minutes or a few hours or a few,
the cap,
or under or whatever, a few days until someone said,
but they really weren't,
up.
right? They're really over the cap.
Exactly, they were fine. Everything was fine.
Chris Pena actually says Falcons might have to forfeit a first to the Vikings for tampering with Kirk Cousins, like the Eagles might have to forfeit a first to the Giants for tampering with Saquon Barkley. But that stuff, the league is still investigating that stuff. We'll see what happens and what comes out of that. This was a little easier to trace back and confirm because it's literally in the accounting numbers. So now, let's continue with the Niners. The Niners signed quarterback Josh Dobbs. Remember Josh Dobbs? He beat us with the Cardinals last year, pretty embarrassingly. Well, he's now the Niners' backup. Agreed on a 1-year deal, which includes $2.25 million in fully guaranteed money, with $750,000 in playing time incentives. It's assuming if Purdy gets hurt, he gets a little more money, right? As a backup quarterback, Josh Dobbs, pretty good. I mean, he'd probably fit better under us than Cooper Rush, and probably about the same cost. Again, $2.25 million plus another $750,000 in playing time incentives.
Yeah.
So good deal for the Niners, I think, and getting a backup like Josh Dobbs. Again, as a starter, beat our ass at the Cardinals. Now, former Ravens Pro Bowler. Now we're going to talk offensive lineman, and this is important because, baby, last night I know you kind of missed the end of it, but we had talked about in depth about a lot of players that I would had on my list, my short list for this week. Some of these players are gone, and some of them are on the offensive line. Some of them are on defense and running backs and receivers. But let's talk about some that we just missed or may miss. But let's see how much they got for it, right? So look. Some names I didn't even have I didn't even say it, but I had it on my other kind of lists that I have of watching players. But the Ravens, former Ravens Pro Bowl guard, Kevin Zeitler, not a guy on our list. He's about to sign a 1-year deal with the Detroit Lions. Zeitler is flying to Detroit tonight to take a physical, pass the physical, and then he's going to officially sign tomorrow with the Lions. So I don't have to say it tomorrow. Another guard, former, again, older now, but a former Pro Bowler, now off the books now. You cannot grab him. He's going to be going to the Detroit Lions. They're really upgrading or filling in the holes they have on their offensive line right now. They lost some guys. Trent Brown
they were close.
Yeah, the Trent Brown was a guy that I was talking about yesterday. Older guy that has injury background, but he's a free agent. Trent Brown tonight scheduled to travel to Cincinnati. I guess is already there. He's meeting with the Bengals. They lost offensive tackle Jonah Williams in free agency to the Cardinals. Now they're looking to replace that spot with Trent Brown. Who the Cowboys replacing Tyron Smith with? Well, no one yet. But now Trent Brown is probably off the books, although, again, they're just meeting with Cincinnati. He's meeting with them. We'll see how that goes. Another guy, this guy was kind of left off my list, but he actually was one of the guys that I had at the bottom of my list. Former Packers offensive tackle Josh Nijman. He agreed to terms with the Carolina Panthers. He was a guy who I think could have been gotten for a reasonable price and kind of, a good backup / kind of a versatile piece inside there. Would add depth to our offensive line. Well, the Panthers officially signed him. They signed him to a 2-year deal worth $8 million. So a solid backup for $4 million a year.
That's not
bad. Offensive line, right? Also getting $5 million guaranteed, and the max value of the deal with incentives and all that is $15 million. So that does jump up a lot of incentives if he does play it out and gets a lot of starting time. Obviously, as a backup, he gets starting time. If he gets a lot of starting time, he'll get more like $10 or $12 million or more in the 2 years. So you're talking about now $6 million a year if he's starting a lot, right? So that's a fair enough deal, I think. And Cowboys let that one go by. Too much money for them. Big name, Mike Onwenu. He signed a 3-year, $57 million deal with the New England Patriots, guys. He's now going to be the Patriots' starting right tackle going forward. The plan is for this extremely versatile player to finally settle in on the right side for them. So that's what they're going to do with them. Now, here's a guy I liked a lot on my short list at tackle to replace Tyron Smith, Isaiah Wynn. And today, the Dolphins officially re-signing him. Dolphins are they're re-signing. He was on their team last year for a short time. They are officially re-signing him, former Patriots first-round pick, now getting a 1-year deal with the Dolphins. So he's off. He's out of free agency as well. Centers, we know about Tyler Biotish gone. Another center off the board now. Former Panthers starting center Bradley Bozeman signing a 1-year deal with the LA Chargers. He's a veteran starter, a leader, makes an impact, with the new kind of group there in LA with Harbaugh and all that, but with the Chargers. But again, another guy that Cowboys could have thought about getting. When I get the numbers on him, we'll talk about it. Now, running backs, there is one guy left on offense that running back today was really one running back that was signed off of our short list, and that is Alexander Madison, former Vikings running back. He is signing with the Vegas Raiders. So that's, again, we'll get more stuff on the deal, but I think it's also a lot of 1-year deals for these guys now, kind of, prove it deals kind of stuff going on in this wave of free agency. This is really Stephen Jones's favorite wave. But unfortunately, Cowboys made no moves externally today. Defensively in the NFL, I know you guys love Chase Young. I'm not so much sold on Chase Young, but I wouldn't mind him on a good deal. Well, he was signed. He's planning to sign a 1-year deal with the New Orleans Saints. All right, 1-year deal with the Saints. It is fully guaranteed $13 million. To me, that's too much. Fully guaranteed $13 million on a guy who's injured and still kind of not really proven much in the NFL, right? As a top second overall pick. I'm just saying, so to me, fully guaranteed $13 million, the Cowboys would have never dreamt of paying him. Even in their best dreams, that ain't happening. So, yeah, he's gone. He's going to sign officially, I think, tomorrow with the Saints. The Bills, they're signing all-pro defensive back Tyron Johnson to a 3-year extension. He's already on the Bills. He's getting extended. He's making him the NFL's highest-paid nickel cornerback. So you talk about Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis. That guy, this Tyron Johnson, he's now the highest-paid guy. There's just a guy last week that was the highest-paid nickel. Now we got a new highest-paid nickel cornerback. Expect Deron Bland to say, "Hey, I'm a nickel corner." And I want to be the newest highest-paid nickel cornerback when it's my turn.
Well,
and he can play on the outside as well. I'm just saying that he's going to have...
But let's see how he plays this year. Because obviously last year, he had a very big, flashy year that kind of petered out into a statistically underwhelming performance. I mean, he did stop getting picks towards the end, and then he kind of wasn't really... I'm just saying, we all remember. I'm not trying to bash him or anything.
Right.
I'm just trying to say that, now here in this position, he probably is going to do well enough to command that type of contract. You get it? Because he's not going to have to play that same role that he was last year.
Listen, the point is here is that he played on the outside and got those picks, but he plays much better locked down as a slot receiver. That's a slot receiver. That's the offensive side. But a nickel cornerback plays a slot receiver.
And guess what? He's still going to get those picks.
Yeah, listen, he'll still be involved, get picks. He might not get them as often.
No.
And that helps the money side of things if you want.
But his play is going to be better.
Yes, the play is better. And again, you get a guy on the outside like Stephon Gilmore and you got Diggs on the other side. It's going to only make the defense all around better. But that's for the slot nickel cornerback. What did Tyron Johnson get paid? He got a 3-year extension for $31 million. So, about a little over $10 million, $10.3 million is the average per year for, again, the regular cornerbacks, you talk about $20 million now, right? But for this slot nickel corner, you're talking about $10, $11 million for the top number, which if I was the Cowboys, I would try to get him done. I know you got to wait till after the season. I'll try to get him done as soon as possible because if he starts to play outside more often, he's going to start demanding outside cornerback money, and that's now double that money there, or $8 million, $7 million more than he would be at just as a nickel corner. And again, the fact that he can play outside as well, that might even up his numbers even more. He'll say, I'm an outside and a versatile inside-outside corner. You got to pay me more than $11 million. You got to pay me $15, $16, $18 million. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But again, Taron Johnson, the highest paid nickel cornerback in the NFL now. Former Cowboy, Randy Gregory. The word is he's not signed anywhere yet. He was, the Broncos. He was with the multiple teams like the Niners. He was released. He's now a free agent. The Seattle Seahawks are among the teams that have shown preliminary interest in Randy Gregory. That's the word. So, the connection is their defensive coordinator. You know who the defensive coordinator is? Adam Dirty.
Oh, there
He went to Seattle.
Yeah.
And he was the defensive line coach of the Cowboys when we still had Randy Gregory for a year. Before he left to Denver. Right? So again, he's coached him. He knows him. So that might be a reconnection there for Seattle. They're one of the people looking at him. And by the way, I'll give you an update. No signing yet of number 95, Jonathan Hankins. No signing.
He hasn't gone anywhere.
Well, no updates yet, which is good news. All right, because Seattle was looking at him, and we thought
news is good news.
And he said he had some news coming. Nothing posted yet, but. Seattle, nothing yet from him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, Deontay Foreman, not signed yet. A couple Tyler Boyd and a couple of those other receivers not signed yet.
Okay.
A couple of those offensive linemen were signed, but there's still a couple still available. And then you got, the defensive side, Stephon Gilmore still available. I'm just giving you a whole list of guys that are still out there. A lot of the names that we went over last night, 90% of them are still out there this week. This is this week's numbers. We already got 2 or 3 of them already signed today. So we'll see how that breaks down. Most of them were offensive linemen that were lost. So we'll see how the Cowboys, take to this going forward. Speaking of lost offensive linemen, from our team, you know who it is, Tyron Smith. And Tyron Smith, guys, much love to him. He, Zach Martin doesn't really speak much on social media or anything, but Zach Martin today thanked Tyron Smith in an Instagram post for the years of playing together. He said, a man of few words, someone like Zach Martin, he doesn't use social media, but the gob, as he is there. He did a great job in his few words, said, quote, "It's been an honor," and he at Tyron Smith 77, brothers for life. With a picture of both of them side by side. So Zach Martin giving homage there to the great Tyron Smith.
Sometimes you don't need to say more than that.
I know. Yeah, Zach Martin said it perfectly, I guess you can say. And Tyron Smith also had some heartfelt messages to the Cowboy fans in his time in Dallas. Today he officially signed on the dotted line with the New York Jets. So Tyron Smith posted on Instagram his letter to the Cowboys, to Cowboy Nation, to the Dallas area, to Jerry Jones, the Cowboy organization. What did he say, baby, in full quote from Tyron Smith from today leaving the Cowboys?
Cowboy Nation. Humbly, I don't even know where to begin. 13 years sure is a long time to sum up in one short letter to thousands of people who have made my time in Dallas so memorable. It's been a long and wild ride filled with plenty of ups and downs, but Cowboy Nation, you all have been there through it all. In 2011, as a young kid out of USC, I was blessed to be given the opportunity to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Since the day I was selected, it's been my sole priority to give this organization, my teammates, and of course the fans, everything I had to give. I loved being a Cowboy and establishing relationships over the years with people that will always be a part of my life. The O-line room in Dallas will forever hold a special place in my heart. Inside those 4 walls, traditions were made, and teammates became brothers. I learned so much from y'all, and you have no idea how much I appreciate the many ways you've helped me grow, not just as a player, but as a 20-year-old boy to the man I am today. To the Jones family, thank you for the amazing opportunity to play for the Cowboys and the life-changing experience that my family and I will forever be grateful for. I will never forget the feeling of running out of the tunnel at AT&T Stadium or the roar of the crowd after a big play. Cowboy Nation, thank you for everything. While I'm excited for this next chapter of my football career, part of my heart will forever be left in Texas. Until we meet again.
There you go. Tyron Smith saying his goodbyes to Big D.
Damn.
It's sad. It's sad. But he, it is part of the, the business in the NFL. Tyron Smith moving on down. Now and out. And, saying his goodbyes, Zach Martin as well, saying goodbye to him. Now, what about a guy who's going to, a lot of fans want to say goodbye to him? Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, guys, today actually helped the Cowboys today, and on the financial side of things, on the pie side. Let me explain. The Cowboys. Listen to this. I want to know what you think about this, baby, because I don't think you heard of this today. The Cowboys trying to open up some more cap space. Now we know they can extend Dak Prescott. We know they can restructure Dak Prescott. They did neither today, but they still made extra room. How? The Cowboys converted a $5 million roster bonus that was due to Dak Prescott on Sunday into a signing bonus, which creates $4 million in salary cap space for this year. We took basically $5 million and just basically ran it over $1 million a year and split it up. And so we went from $5 million that we took off, and then we put $1 million back on. That's why we're saving $4 million this year. But next year we get another $1 million, and the year after that another $1 million. And what? That's kind of weird. Why is there so many millions being added? Where do we have this room? Well, I'll explain in a minute, because the Cowboys had to change the contract. It wasn't a restructure; it was a change that Dak had to approve. So let me explain here. The move reduces. First of all, it reduces Dak's cap hit this year. It reduces his cap hit from basically $60 million to from 59 million. 55, I think it was 59.4 million to now 55.4 million. So we take $4 million off of that. All right, off of the 59, it goes to 54 million, and that's what the cap hit. So no more 60. Now we're at $55 million for his cap hit, because of that. Basically, the $4 million moved over to over the next 4 years of his contract. The Cowboys had to add 2 extra voidable years. Remember, guys, 2025, 2026 are void years for Dak Prescott's contract. Now they added 2020, that's 24. They added 25, 26. Now they added 27 and 28 as voidable years to throw money into, to stash money for the future. That's going to have to be, dead money hits. So right now, in those last 2 years, it looks like there's just $1 million and $1 million. So we got $1 million this year put back on. They take $5 million off. You gave $1 million back this year. You got to spread it out evenly. So $1 million went back this year, but every year, the next 4 years, another $1 million goes on the dead cap with this move. Not a real big move, but just opens up $4 million for this year. That's all it was for. $4 million. That's it. Now, Dak had to approve this one. Restructuring it is up to the Joneses to do it, not Dak. But to do this move, to touch the contract and reopen it, you have to get permission from Dak to do it. So now the Cowboys have created an extra 2 years of void. All right, so 25, 26, now they added 27, 28, all years that Dak will not be here, but there's going to be dead money. All right? But what does that mean now? Void years now go through 2028. So some people thinking this is like the end of Dak. He's going to play on a $55 million contract hit, and we're going to let Dak go. But I just want you all to know that this is actually the opposite of this. There's some Cowboy fans, I call them quote-unquote fans, content creators, I don't know, Dak haters that are out there that continuously say like anything that's done to Dak's contract, it means he's out of here. Like unless it's signing for an extension, they believe that. So don't listen to the haters, and don't listen to the lovers of Dak. Just listen to the non-biased facts about Dak. And right now, it does not prevent the Cowboys and Dak Prescott from further negotiating a long-term extension. It provides the Cowboys with immediate salary cap relief. You only throw in an extra $1 million every year on a cap hit. Mm-hmm. But this, again, without a full-on extension, it adds $4 million to the money. But that means next year it was worth $39 million in dead cap. Next year, now we're at $40 million dead cap. Yep. So next year, if Dak is not with the Cowboys next year, we're still paying $40 million. And so that's why I keep saying that even though everyone else wants to just run from Dak, like there's a lot of options, there are no other options. It's Dak or bust. And if you bust, it's going to be like 5 years of bust. If you do that now, it's stupid. So the extension...
better to invest in Dak for
3 more years.
For 3 more years than it is to move on from Dak and still have to pay him for 5.
Yeah, exactly. Because, guys, if you get Dak for 3 more years, this money that's dead money will be kind of crunched back in and absorbed into the new contract. Now, it's still going to be high cut numbers, don't get me wrong. There's going to be still dead money pushed forward, but that dead money can become lessened and also will become worth less of a hit. It'll be less of a hit when 2028, 2029, and 2030 comes around the corner. So that's that's the way Dak's deal is probably going to end up going, and it's probably going to get an extension. Because if not, next year we're paying $40 million with no Dak Prescott at all. So, if anything, this makes, to me, it makes the likelihood of an extension higher, greater, because of this move. It just means they're just opening up $4 million because the Cowboys don't want to open up the restructure money. They want to hide that money from free agents. So now we got extra. We had $4 million. Now we got $8 million. One of the lowest in the NFL still, and we still won't make any moves. Well, we made one of our own moves, but I'll go into that in a minute. The very important thing about this, the reason I'm bringing this up as even maybe more important, listen to this, baby. The fact that the Cowboys cannot touch his contract without talking to him and having it done means that the Cowboys are talking to Dak Prescott and his agent. Right?
Good
right?
point.
Right? So if Dak has to give approval for this, they are obviously working together a little bit, which means whatever way the Cowboys are going, whether they're going to sign him for 2 years or 3 years extension or not, there's communication going on between both sides. If they made this move, it's great. We got $4 million. Then we can sign Rico Dowdle. But the reality is, it's more about they're talking. And whatever they're doing, good or bad or ugly, it's at least something's getting done. Mm-hmm. It's not just no phone calls, no discussions, no agent, no nothing. So, again, this also gives Dak more leverage with that dead cap hit next year for 25, 26, 27, 28, especially 25 and 26. Huge cap hits. Because of that, Dak even has more leverage because of a move like this. That's why I keep trying. People think that there's the Dak haters, some real Dak haters that think this is the best thing since sliced bread because they think Dak's out of here. And they just, their brains are only on one mode: get rid of Dak. They don't matter what the news is, just get rid of Dak. They don't see the reality of what's going on. So I'm trying to keep you guys grounded and in reality. So the Cowboys cannot have added, the reason why they had to talk to Dak is because the Cowboys cannot add voided years. That is redoing the contract. You cannot add voided years without reopening the contract, getting permission from Dak and his agent, and they did. So we know that's good. They got Dak's permission. They're still working together, and hey, maybe they're talking about what's next. The Cowboys, by adding these 2 more voided years at the end of his contract, going through 2027 and 2028, now, again, new cap hit, $55.4 million. It's still the second highest cap hit behind Cleveland's Deshaun Watson, $63.9 million, and right ahead of Kyler Murray at $51.4 million. That's right now. You can lessen that with a restructure. You can lessen that with an extension. Right now, Dak is going to earn a base salary for this year, base salary of $29 million. So, again, but it's more about all the cap hits that raised the price up to 60. But he's getting 29 from us.
Which, again, is not bad.
That's not bad, but
starter,
he got his big money early on the contract, right? So
He did.
the front office is showing that they have the ability. Here's the thing that makes me upset. The Cowboys show that they have the ability to work and talk with the agent of Dak Prescott, to talk and work with, and rework contracts in order to do what? To create cap space. The Cowboys are willing to say, now we have a little more pie when they want to. So now they wanted to create more room using Dak's contract. So, and obviously they can do it. They did it. They didn't do the full restructure, but they did this move that required them to actually communicate. And that shows me that they can do this if they really wanted to. But they would rather have the fans. They'd rather have the Cowboy fans believe that their hands are completely tied. They cannot make any moves. And there's nothing they can do because of the salary cap at $4 million, now at $8 million. That's what they try to. That's how they fool us. Well, not us here anymore, but the fans that don't know, the Cowboy fans that think that, we don't have any money because of Dak, don't realize that. Yeah, that's going to be something you have to manage as the organization. That's not Dak's problem, but you got to manage that. The problem the Cowboys are doing, they're not managing it properly, so it looks bad on Dak. The real issue. Issues are all across this team, but the real issue when it comes to this is Stephen Jones. That's the issue right there, and Jerry right behind him. So again, don't let don't let them fool you. It's much more on their organization than it is on the player. Just so you understand, guys, this is not a traditional restructuring by the Cowboys. If the Cowboys wanted to restructure his contract, they just got to tell him we're restructuring it. And that is all. The Cowboys actually had to open this up, right? So they had to have a literal reworking of this current deal to add the void years. The void years are for cap management only, not an actual extension. So it's not an extension, but it is a collaboration that greases the wheels, in my opinion, to help move the extension talks. Not just opening $4 million now, but it helps push the extension talks forward.
I mean, obviously, because like you said, discussions are being had. The communication lines are obviously open. So, even if it doesn't necessarily get done right now, obviously those talks had to have already, been put in place or begun. No, I'm just saying, like, those discussions had to have begun if this move was made, because this move wouldn't have been made if it wasn't in anticipation of whatever it is that's coming next that's being worked on. Yeah.
So when you look at this, Dak had given his last, I think at the cancer cause there with Troy Aikman, he had given his latest update on the talks and proclaimed that, quote, it will happen. And then Stephen Jones last week said the same kind of thing. He said, quote, Dak's been willing to work with us, and we've had great discussions about his contract. He's all in on working with us. That's about all we'll say about our negotiations with Dak. We want to keep those private, and we won't get into timelines, but getting him signed is a priority for us. Getting him extension. The extension is a priority. So again, as you can see, the Cowboys are just going forward. Basically, Dak giving the Cowboys $4 million of extra cap room right now. And at the same time, extension talks are continuing. Those, my friends, are the facts of the situation. Extension talks continue, made an extra $4 million. Now, what do we do? Any quick comments on that in the chat about the Dak Prescott, reworking of the deal?
So first of all, Matt Batten said Jones don't believe in Dak. If he did, Dak, he'd get Dak great players in free agency and not draft them. Keep losing the first or second round of the playoffs.
It has nothing to do with Dak. That has to do with the cheapness of the Joneses.
Dustin Roberts said, can you imagine if, God forbid, Dak gets hurt and Lance comes in, balls out, the media will go crazy over that.
Hey, if that happens, then we just got lucky again. Like with Romo and Dak.
Mike Aldana said, Dak's getting his money regardless of what happens.
Church, somewhere, for sure.
Throwing out there, the Cowboys don't develop quarterbacks. Like, what the hell? Going back here a little bit more.
I just want to say, imagine...
the final comment here, Tyron Smith said, now CeeDee Lamb is the focus.
Basically,
now that the Cowboys did this, it's kind of like, okay,
next up is CeeDee Lamb. Yeah.
Now we can
we'll get back to Dak later.
Contract.
We're going to get CeeDee done. Yeah, that's if CeeDee wants it to get done. But I wanted to make a mention. It was kind of stupid to say that Jerry Jones has no confidence in Dak or else he would get him more players. It's the opposite. He has too much confidence in Dak. He doesn't believe Dak needs all these players. That's where whoever said that is a hater. That's where you missed it. That the Dak is actually, the confidence is too high from Jerry Jones about Dak. You feel me? If the Cowboys are setting up to extend Dak, they love him and they're going to get him another 2 or 3 years on this contract. And if they don't, they don't. I mean, that's another option. But the reality is they probably will. And even how much some of these Dak-hating hearts are out there floating around saying, "Oh, this is great." They're celebrating like we won a Super Bowl. This is like Cowboy fans. I'm seeing some of them celebrating on this like we won a Super Bowl. When the reality is, why are these Dak haters so happy? If they're Dak haters, this means Dak is going to get extended. It just means when, not if. Anyways, the extra $4 million, guys. What does that mean for our Cowboys today? Well, it's important because it meant we got this guy signed, sealed, and delivered, a new running back for the Cowboys. Oh, wait, no. Same old. Our now starting number 1 running back for the Dallas Cowboys is number 23, Rico Dowdle. He's back. Yeah, guys, big signing for the Cowboys. And I say that with a little chuckle. No offense to Rico Dowdle. I think he's a fantastic running back. I think he's very good. I don't know if he's, the guy everybody wanted, but I was kind of saying from the beginning, guys, this is the expectation. I said this literally last night. Last night I said Rico Dowdle probably get the veterans, salary benefit. That VSB deal we talked about last week, and almost every player we signed has been a VSB deal except for Eric Hendricks. So Rico Dowdle staying in Dallas after agreeing to a new deal, re-signing with the Cowboys. Rico Dowdle re-signed with the Cowboys on a 1-year contract worth $1.255 million, including $200,000 signing bonus, and that is that. So now he's over 4 years. He's 4 years in the league, right? He's been in the league for over 4 years, and now the Cowboys basically got him on another veteran salary benefit deal, which means, yes, $1.255 million is what his contract is worth, plus another $200,000. So it's about what, 1.4 1.5. We're only paying $985,000 on the cap. So Rico is a steal here for the Cowboys, and it's a good deal. Again, it locks him in for 1.5, and it locks him in. It locks him in to be our number 2 running back right now. I know I said number 1. I'm kind of joking, but that means to me, if we don't pick up any of these other guys lying around there, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire and any of these guys, it's going to be Rico Dowdle and a rookie running back. I can tell you already. So
I had kind of said that in the chat, a few minutes ago. I just didn't want to, just talk about that since obviously we weren't talking about Rico just yet. But yeah, I do think that is what the Cowboys want to do and plan on doing. And again, Rico as a number 2 is a solid move. No, I don't think anybody has any real qualms about that. Like you said, it's more about the number 1 to that number 2, right?
Yeah, and again, a rookie running back, I don't know if you can count on a rookie running back being a third rounder, right? He's going to be a third rounder. It's the highest running backs he's going to see taken. A third round running back being our number 1 guy. That seems a chance, a chancy thing, but it is the way the Cowboys are probably going to go with things because they don't want to spend money at all on running backs. And in their mind, we were paying $6 million to Zeke.
Said they're going to get Dak hurt. So I'm assuming it's the combination of moving on from Tyron Smith along with the lessening of our run game in general.
And run blocking.
Usually that's what I'm saying. Like that, it's kind of a double factor there.
Yeah, it takes some of the pressure off of Dak. When you have a good running game, now we got Rico Dowdle as our number 1, the most experienced guy on our team. So Dowdle is 25 years old. He played 16 games last year as the backup to Tony Pollard. Dowdle missed 1 game last year. It was December 30th against the Lions. He had an ankle injury. He was banged up a little bit, but he was able to play most of the games except for that Lions game. Pollard last year, he ran for 361 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground on 89 carries. And he also scored a total of 4 touchdowns, 2 more in the air. So he had 4 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 361 yards rushing on 89 carries. Not great. He averaged 4.1 yards per carry in this first healthy season he's had in his career. And he's also coming off his, his best and healthiest season of his young career. He gives the Cowboys some stability in a very unstable running back room following the departure of Tony Pollard. And then Rico Dowdle, as I've said multiple times this offseason, would not be a surprise pickup for the Cowboys if they don't go after Derrick Henry and a couple of those other kind of bigger name guys. Rico Dowdle coming back and matching him with a rookie is probably what the Cowboys are going to cheaply do. And that's what it seems they're going to do. We could always listen. J.K. Dobbins falls to $1.5 million. You might see the Cowboys grab. You can see, what are the Cowboys looking at? They looked at a $4 million Zach Moss, and they looked at a less than $1.5 million Rico Dowdle. That's all we know the Cowboys have looked at. The Cowboys are looking at targeting a Rico Dowdle type $1.5 million running back. That is at most what they're going to do. So can Clyde Edwards-Helaire fall that low? I doubt it. Kareem Hunt, some of these other names we talked about yesterday, Deontay Foreman, they're playing for at least $2-3 million somewhere, I'm assuming. If not, maybe they'll be a Cowboy for a year on a 1-year deal, a prove-it deal. Outside of that, the Cowboys going to wait. They got Dowdle. He's the number 2 in my opinion. And a rookie or some kind of really low, some guy drops really low, they'll roll a dice on a cheaper contract. For a veteran, you might see that. They'll still draft the running back. I can see the Cowboys doing that. So, again, this is one of the guys I thought I had on my short list of guys we can keep. And at least we kept him. Nothing spectacular here, guys. Kind of almost expected. Undrafted free agent, Rico Dowdle from South Carolina. He ran, again, injuries slowed his progress over the previous 2 years. From last year, 2 years before that, injuries had him out for the year. Hip injury and all this stuff. But his best game came against the Giants this year on November 12th when he rushed for 79 yards on 12 carries, had a 21-yard touchdown run as well. The carries and yards were career highs for him in a single game. It was also his first rushing touchdown. Now, can he take over the number 1 spot? The answer is, I think the answer is no, not yet. He's played the backup role. He had some fumbling issues in preseason. Luckily, knock on wood, did not continue in the regular season. But again, I think it's a $1.5 million starting number 1 running back. You're really not focusing on your running game, and you're not focusing on protecting your quarterback or getting an effective offense going if you're not going to really get serious about getting a running game, a 1-2 punch or something that's going to make a difference for Dak and Mike McCarthy's scheme on offense. So those are the issues there. I see. Again, he's played the backup role. That's the expectation with a deal like this. He'll be the backup again. And again, if we don't draft the running back and pick anybody else up, well, then it's Rico Dowdle as our starter. But to me, the deal has always been pairing Rico Dowdle. If they could get Zach Moss, they might have maybe thought about Rico as a second guy to Zach Moss. But they're going to pair Rico, who, by the way, Rico Dowdle is really good in pass protection. I want to make sure you guys, some people say he's short. Not as short as you think, and he's really good in pass protection. But they're going to pair him with a rookie, which is kind of what I believe is going to happen next. That's the belief. Now, the last thing I want to say is about the money side of this. We talked about this. The 1-year deal, $1.255 million. Under 1.5, it's probably hitting us for right under $1 million in the cap. Look at this. Kind of take a look at what the Cowboys are going to be doing this year, right? With Rico Dowdle. And we currently have who as running back? Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah.
Hunter Lipke as fullback.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we have Malik Davis, but not on our starting. He's doesn't count against the 51. And we have Snoop Connor. He don't count against the 51. So the only guys that count against the 51, and I say 51 roster spots on the cap, is Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lipke, and a third round running back. You know how much that would cost the Cowboys? $4.3 million for the entire starting or on the roster, 53-man roster running back core. $4.3 million for 4 running backs.
Again, that to me is definitely
Jones's
doing
way.
Things differently at running back.
So Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lipke, and a third round running back, $4.3 million. Tony Pollard, he signed with Tennessee, 3 years for $24 million. So $8 million a year for him there. We're paying $4.3 million right now for 4 running backs. That's what our running back group is going to look like. Whether you agree or disagree, that's the way the Cowboys are doing it.
Doing it, a little bit differently. Just, like you said, just last year we were paying freaking $10 million just for, Pollard alone.
Yep. So right now, you look at free agency. We kind of know what we're seeing here. No big changes. There's the list again. Let me take Rico out the way. You can see the entire list. Kendricks has been added. And by the way, I will say, Eric Kendricks, linebacker, today was given his official number, guys. If you look at our thumbnail, you'll see it hidden right next to LVE's face. We'll talk about LVE in a minute. See right over his hand, Kendricks. That number 50 is the number for Eric Kendricks, New Jersey, for the Dallas Cowboys. So he officially is number 50 for our Cowboys. So we know that we associate that with Sean Lee. Mm-hmm. Now, if anybody drops a $50 holler, guess what happens? It's now officially a Kendricks drop. So
that is very weird.
But remember, before this, it was Devin Harper wore 50. Yeah. Remember that? So that was a short-lived number 50. Kendricks will have it for at least 1 year. So right now, again, you see Kendricks there. You see returning to us Carl Davis, Trent Zieg, Jordan Lewis, C.J. Goodwin, and now Rico Dowdle. You see the departures list right there. Nothing much to go over, but I do want to give you a couple still free agents around, right? First off, from our own team, from our Cowboy team, the Cowboys have now Chuma Edo gone off. Ooh, we got Calvin Richard dropping a $2 holler.
Woo!
Much
Thank
love
you, Calvin.
with that still official J. Lou $2 holler. What do you say?
Looks like it's going to be a long season. Yeah. If this offseason as of now is anything to go by as far as, some of the changes or adjustments that the Cowboys are making, as far as, the additions that we're going to make to this team, yeah. I'm just saying, it's going to be a very long offseason. That's all.
He's saying long season. So to me, it's
long season.
Yeah, to me, the thing is, I think our team is already at a good spot, but we're not really filling up the holes like we should be. We got to wait and see what it's going to look like after the draft and truly after free agency. Still too early to tell, Calvin. But yeah, it's definitely looking like a rough year for us, even though I still think we're better, at least better than the Giants and Washington, even at this point. And the Eagles, they're trying to definitely climb over us. But I think the Cowboys are still in the running at least to make a run. But I know the Cowboys are not done yet. And that's why I'm kind of bringing this up here. Much love, Calvin, by the way. Mark the 63 points on the stream, boss. On offense, we only have Chuma Edoga and Sean McEwen as two guys that are still available from our own roster on offense. That's it. And that's why I'm saying, I know you said Chuma is kind of I think Sean McEwen probably will be picked up and won't even hit our cap. Like, that's how cheap he'll be. So we'll see how that goes for those guys. On defense, no special teams guys available anymore. We signed them all. On defense, we only have a couple guys left. J. Ron Curse, who I think the Cowboys will not sign no matter what. He's just no need to sign him. But then there's that Jonathan Hankins situation where he was supposed to talk to Seattle. He was going to have an update, and then we haven't heard anything. So still a free agent. And Stephon Gilmore, who I believe is maybe the most important free agent here to make sure we get that cornerback spot solidified, and we have 4 solid cornerbacks, with Jordan Lewis as our 4th to come in there in case Bland has to go to the outside or he goes down. So, that to me is still very important names out there. Especially offense, we're kind of done. But on defense, I still like Hankins and Gilmore of our own to add to this return list. That's my hope. Unless the Cowboys want to upgrade that, which we know they won't. So that's where it stands. Now, when it comes to who's still left out there, of course, Stephon Gilmore. Jonathan Hankins. I talked about Connor Williams, who's playing center. He has some health issues, but we'll see. Give him a physical. I don't know what to say. Carl Lawson, an edge rusher. Tier Tart of the Tennessee Titans. He was visiting teams. He hasn't signed yet. And he's a nose tackle that could replace a Jonathan Hankins. I think it's an upgrade over Jonathan Hankins. Calais Campbell, we talked about him yesterday, who could really box up really cause a real issue inside, run a 3-4 or 4-3. J.K. Dobbins, we talked about him at running back. Deontay Foreman at running back. I know A.J. Dillon's already signed already, but there's still, Clyde Edwards-Helaire rolling around. Now, a couple guys have already been signed, whether it's Trent Brown, the other offensive line, but there's still a lot of good names floating around out there the Cowboys can make a move on. So that's kind of where I'm falling with this right now for free agency. Don't get your hypes overhyped for anything. Your hopes overhyped. But I do know that no matter,
make sure not to get my hypes overhyped.
Your hypes overhyped. Your hopes overhyped, because I do believe that the Cowboys are going to probably try to re-sign some of these low-level guys. You might see Chuma or McEwen re-signed. Not J-Ron Curse, the only guy definitely will not be back, in my opinion. But Hankins could be back, or can we bring back, someone like Tart, right? It would be an upgrade. We're going to bring out Gilmore, or we're going with somebody else who really is going to be tough to get a guy for probably the same range, under $11 million for Stephon Gilmore, under $10 million. That's going to be a starter on the outside. I talked about Xavier Howard. Could possibly be that guy. Did you do that, or do you stick with the guy you had? We'll have to wait and see what Stephon Gilmore, he said he wants to come back. So there's a lot of work to still do. We'll have to still wait and see what the Cowboys do going forward. But, a lot of that, I don't trust this front office. So there's always issues when it comes to this front office about the way they do shit. You know what I mean? Oh, and another $2 holler by Calvin Richard. Bang. That J-Lou 2. Let me add him to the board. Hit up his comment, and then we're going to finish up the stream tonight with a little LV to the E.
Thank you, Calvin. Appreciate you. He said, I agree. Hankins and Gilmore are a must sign. And again, as of now, it's not like the Cowboys seem to be
hurrying
looking at, not just that, or, there hasn't been any kind of interest in any other guys to fill those holes either, type of thing. So that is the part that leads us sitting here like, hey, Hankins and Gilmore are more likely to get those deals. But, if the way that the Cowboys are approaching free agency so far is any indication, it's almost like we're working from, instead of a top-down approach, like most teams, right? Get your bigger contracts and then kind of, work your way down, so to speak. We're kind of working from a bottom-up, where we're signing all these,
We signed Carl Davis, a practice squad guy.
Yep.
Two special teams guys, long snapper and C.J. Goodwin. And then we got Jordan Lewis, a backup corner, and Rico Dowdle, a backup running back. That's who we signed from our own team. So, other than a starter and Eric Kendricks. The rest of the guys are backups or practice squad.
And the Dak move was done only because of the fact that, had we not gotten it done, like you said, by this weekend, the Cowboys would have been up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah, they were able to save that
So they made the one move they absolutely had to do by court of laws almost.
Yeah.
And then everything else, I'm just saying, it's definitely a different approach.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. So, again, any last other
Jason
thoughts in the
said,
chat?
Please sign Gilly. I agree.
It's getting slim pickings over there, right?
A few questions in the chat,
hit 'em up real quick.
and others, about Lyle Collins. Did we resign him? Have we resigned him?
Lyle Collins, I think that he's still a free agent. Guys, you got to remember, Lyle Collins is just a practice squad player at this point. No one even wanted him, so we'll wait and see. I'm not sure. I don't think the Cowboys not re-sign him on a futures deal. I think he's technically a free agent, but no one signed him because he's having issues playing. So don't think too much about Lyle Collins coming in and saving the day. He will not be that guy. Oh, is that any other questions?
No, let me see. Matt Batten said, doubt we get Hankins,
Well, I don't mind Tierra Tart instead of Hankins. You got to give me someone else. If you don't get Hankins, give me someone like him. Just don't give me Dontari Poe. You know what I'm saying? Don't go downhill. We need someone a little better or the same as Hankins. I'd like someone better. The Cowboys won't pay it unless the money gets lower and lower for some of these guys. And right now, it's slim pickings.
Yep. And Luis Ortiz, much love, saying, shout out to the Wolf Hunter we love and are gonna miss you.
And let's talk about that. As you can see the board here, LVE was released with Michael Gallup. At the same time, we know he was going to announce his retirement very soon. And that is today, officially, unfortunately, guys. Earlier today, LVE, as we expected, announced his retirement today after a 6-year career with the Dallas Cowboys. It was that neck injury last year after he got that touchdown against the Patriots. His first touchdown in his career against the Patriots week 4, week 5 against the Niners in the game we blew. Trent Williams shoved him when he got beat. He shoved him into Micah Parsons and hurt his neck, and that ended his career. Now, a lot of people hate Trent Williams for that. I think it was just a guy that got beat and trying to save it by just pushing him. It wasn't done on purpose, is my point. So LVE, it's just football. So LVE, guys, again, that neck injury forced him into this decision. Last week, the Cowboys released him. So starting linebacker LVE, medically retiring from football after 6 years. He has 557 tackles in his career in 71 games. A Pro Bowler before that neck injury ended his career. LV will always hold a special place in Cowboy history for us specifically because we were at that 2018 NFL draft that was held at AT&T Stadium. The first time ever they held the draft in Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. We were there, and this was the first pick here at LV. We didn't have nice things to say about the pick, but, that's what happens. That's just raw reaction. Leighton Vander Esch said this initially, just when this came out, he just tweeted out there, quote, I love the game of football so much, and my body won't cooperate any longer. I cherished every moment of my NFL career, and it has been such a blessing to play the game for as long as I have played, end quote. So, again, he said his part on things. Other people spoke, and then he let out a long, long, heartfelt statement, which maybe you're going to, good luck on reading. But let's start off with what Jerry Jones. Yes, Jerry Jones spoke about LVE. What did Jerry say about L to the V to the E?
He was a leader and the kind of teammate that impacted those around him in the best ways. Leighton's playing career may have come to an end, but his future is very bright. On behalf of the entire Dallas Cowboys organization, we're proud that he wore the star on his helmet. Yeah,
there he is, wearing that star. And Jerry wasn't the only one to give love and credit there to LVE. It was also Mike McCarthy. He spoke on LVE's impact and in the years he was here. What did Mike McCarthy have to say about Leighton Vander Esch retiring from the NFL today?
Leighton is exactly the kind of player and person a coach feels very fortunate to have on their team. His leadership, character, perseverance, dedication, and will to win were all at the highest level, not to mention his ability to play the game. Leighton impacted our team beyond defense. He set a tone that served as an example for all of our players about how we wanted to play. Having a teammate like Leighton is something everyone on our staff and in our locker room valued greatly, and we're going to miss him.
Well, there you go. Mike McCarthy giving his 2 cents on the LVE departure from the NFL now, right? Another guy spoke on LVE. That was his teammate at linebacker, Micah Parsons. So, baby, if you don't mind, what did Mike have to say about losing LVE, not just for his career, but even just in the season.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think people realize how much y'all are going to miss Leighton. I mean, one of the hardest, most devoted, loving, authentic teammates you could ever have. Cowboy Nation should be grateful he represented the star. I'm going to miss his passion and drive on the field.
So,
and then he put a bunch of wolf emoji and said, thank you.
There you go. So everyone's saying their goodbyes. And then we had the full letter from Leighton Vander Esch.
I better prepare.
Yeah, you better get ready, baby. It's a long one. But I'll let you just speak on it, and then we'll touch on it. You guys leave your comments in the chat right now on what you think about LVE, his time. You know, again, my thing, number one, is that, you know, maybe he wasn't the best player. He was good. He was all right. He was average. But, you know, he good enough player that we could have kept. If he could have continued, he would have been a good enough player to do some of the main things we needed him to do here. But to me, it's not about his playing days with the Cowboys. To me, it's more about his safety and his life after football. And that's what my concern is. I hope the best for him going forward here in a, you know, a life where he has to. Thank goodness he don't have to worry about his neck getting injured anymore and really being life altering stuff. But yeah, this unfortunately killed his career, his love, his passion. So heartfelt letter from LVE today. What did he say, baby?
Today is a difficult day for me, but it is also a day of reflection and gratitude. Playing for the Jones family, Coach Garrett, McCarthy, Marinelli, Richard, DQ, Bloom, George, AD, and Scotty have been the best days of my life. My dream of playing for the Dallas Cowboys came to reality on April 26, 2018. That night will forever be a night I'll never forget. During my 6 years as a Cowboy player, I've always pursued success in winning football games, while preparing and training with the highest standard of competition, passion, and perseverance. It has been an honor to represent my family, my teammates, and the people of Dallas. I realize that I am no longer able to adhere to the unwavering standard of excellence that professional football demands. I say this with a heavy heart. I am medically retiring from the NFL. I love the game of football so much, and my body won't cooperate any longer. I cherished every moment of my NFL career, and it has been such a blessing to play the game for as long as I've played. This year, things may look a little different for me, but the sole focus is being a great husband and father for my loving family. Reflecting on my 6 years in the NFL and all that was required to reach my current situation reminded me of the many people I owe my humble, sincere gratitude to. No one has felt the daily grind more than my loving and extremely supportive wife, Madeline. 6 years ago, we were just two young individuals taking on a whole new world here in Dallas. We had so much to learn in such little time, and we took it day by day, soaking up every moment together. She has been with me throughout my entire career and was completely dedicated to helping me become my absolute best on and off the field. I know for a fact I couldn't have been on this journey in the NFL without her. Madeline, you have made this transition into being the mother of our little girl look so easy. For you, I am forever grateful and blessed. If there's one thing that is for sure, player wives don't get near enough credit. My mom and dad provided me with the perfect combination of love and discipline and taught me what hard work and persistence truly are. From an early age, you two always told me if I do something, do it to the fullest of my ability. Every time I put on a uniform, I've always strived to stick to the principles they stand for, and I can only hope that I haven't let them down. My three sisters have greatly helped me in their own ways. All of them have been extremely influential in all facets of my life, and having them as siblings helped transform me into the person I am today. Growing up and going to all your games, you three set the basis for how to compete. You're all fierce in your own ways, and that's brought a lot into the passion and emotion I've played with. Still to this day, some of my favorite memories are watching you guys play basketball, volleyball, and run track. I would like to thank Boise State University for taking on a kid from Riggins, Idaho as a walk-on and letting me grow into the player that became a first-round pick. Coach Harsin, I'm thankful for the opportunity you gave me to play at my dream college. Growing up and going to the Boise State games as a kid, it was always my dream to wear that blue and orange uniform. Coach Avalos, I owe you for life and appreciate all the work you put into me. You truly believed in me and never let me settle for anything less than greatness. Still to this day, you are a father figure in my life. There are countless memories on and off the field that I reminisce on. Football is truly the ultimate team sport, and being a part of an NFL organization makes that even more evident. So many people devote their time to helping the players, and I would like to thank everyone in the Dallas Cowboys organization, former and current, for all that you've done for me over the last 6 years. The athletic trainers, Jim, Britt, Greg, Hanson. You guys constantly worked your tails off to ensure I was ready to play every week. The men in the equipment room, Mike, Bucky, Dylan, Blake. Thank you so much for making sure I had the right gear every day to perform the way we do. Our player security, Cable and Brian. You two go above and beyond to make sure all of us are taken care of. Thank you. Our strength staff, Coach H, Kendall, said, you three have really went above and beyond for me the last few years. I love you guys like brothers. Coach Marcus, we miss you every day, and not a day goes by that I step in the weight room and don't think about you.
Remember him?
Yeah,
Marcus Paul.
He's the unfortunately the coach who
passed away during a practice a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So Marcus Paul. Yeah.
So continuing on, to my exceptional teammates, former and current, I owe you everything. I look forward to addressing you formally and privately later. But please know that I love and respect all of you, and not having the opportunity to be around you is what will hurt most of all. Forming friendships and unbreakable bonds of trust on the field is what makes football so special and so important to me. When reminiscing on my NFL career, I'll think about all the games won and lost, plays made or missed. I know I'll think about you and the time we shared together, the trust and love we had for each other, and the unwavering willingness we had to help each other succeed. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. The Dallas community and the devoted fans of the Cowboys are simply amazing. 6 years ago, upon arriving in Dallas, I received the warmest welcome possible. And Dallas has been my home ever since.
Not from FCF, but yeah. I'm sorry.
The dedication and passion the fans display has been inspiring. During a Sunday afternoon in the fall, there's no doubt the collective roar of our enthusiastic fans provides strength to the players. Countless times I was approached by fans and loyal season ticket holders who gave me nothing but words of encouragement and support, and I cannot thank you enough.
I remember what I called him? Leighton Vander Fuck.
That was Leighton Vander shit.
Yeah, there it goes. Leighton Vander shit. Sorry about that, Leighton. Didn't mean to say that to you back then. Go ahead.
Anyway, today I would like to thank God for the countless blessings he continues to shower over my family and me. You have given me a new healthy baby girl and a wife that follows you. Without trusting in your unwavering love and guidance, I know I wouldn't have made it this far. You've blessed me with the ability to become a Dallas Cowboy and for allowing me the privilege of a 6-year professional football career. I strive to let you work through me in this next chapter to continue to impact people's lives and to be a light in this world.
So there you go. LVE giving his last, unfortunate side. 6 years usually, a good player, first-round pick. You don't want to see a 6-year career for a first-round, pick and the abilities that he may have, but it is the fact. I already said my words. Any quick thoughts from you, baby?
I just have to say what Pioneer said here, actually, because I was just kind of reading the chat.
Yeah, I want to hit the chat.
And then I'll share more of my thoughts. But he said, LV is a good dude, probably will venture into coaching. He'll always have a linebacker neck. But, the coaching aspect of that is fascinating because, again, we know that he was a big part, even behind the scenes when he was hurt and stuff like that, and kind of like, on a player side of things, helping coach some of these guys. So you know what? That I could absolutely see, especially, because LVE seems to have left the game a little bit hungrier than, let's say, Sean Lee did. Not in a bad way, just in a, I don't know.
I hear you.
I think that he just expected things to go differently because his was a little bit more sudden. Sean Lee kind of just wore down slowly over time. LVE obviously just kind of had more of a disruptive situation there with the neck thing. So anyway, but yeah, again, as much as we might have, called him Leighton Vander shit in the beginning, we grew to appreciate him.
Yeah, that rookie year.
Again, the big problem was that he never quite rose to the expectations placed upon him, but neither did any of the other 3 linebackers we've got throughout those years.
Except for Micah, But I will say that year, we did have every single player in that draft is no longer a Cowboy from 2018.
So, that door has been officially, unfortunately, closed. And, again, I do think that LVE did contribute more than people gave him credit for. And he was definitely sorely missed when he got hurt.
Yeah, and we were not prepared.
And we were not prepared
to fix that injury.
So, yeah, LVE, sorry you had to hang up your cleats this way. Wishing you the best. Congrats to you and your family as far as your health and every other way. And I hope that your future is very bright and maybe has some football in it if you choose to. So
some coaching, Now, what's the rest of the chat saying as we finish it up tonight?
So, and trust me, Lewis, I think most of us would much rather have Sean Lee just in a general sense. But like I said, it doesn't seem like Sean Lee has any interest in returning to any NFL capacity, at least in the last few years. And it's been quite a while now.
Yeah, I got LVE jersey 2 in there. So, yeah, I got to find the next player with 55.
And yes, Asmodeus, that was a long-ass goodbye. He, although I have to admit, on a personal level, I do appreciate the very specific and individual shout-outs to all the different, parts, that are still
Cowboy
even
staff,
just a small modicum of all the other parts, that kind of just help keep everything moving there within the organization.
Yeah, and again, some people
and
are saying
the kind of close relationships he's developed after 6 years. He's on a name-by-name basis with the freaking strength and conditioning and the injury personnel and the weight room.
He's big time involved with all the rehab stuff. But people were out there saying, well, the Cowboys made a big farewell video to LVE. People are like, well, we should have made one for Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith's not retiring. He's going to an enemy team.
Thank you.
There's a difference between that and someone retire. And Tyron Smith retires. And then you make that video on him. You know what I'm saying? So,
and have no doubt about the fact that he will be brought back on a little, one-day contract so he can retire a Cowboy officially. That's a guarantee, guys. Yeah. So, yes, that is the difference between the LVE and Tyron Smith situation.
Yeah, the farewells for different reasons.
LVE swan song, Mike Aldana, exactly. So, this is the last time he'll address the media as a Dallas Cowboy in some capacity.
Everything here is former Dallas Cowboy, or, now a coach or whatever it may be. So, the best to LVE. It's sad, but we knew this day was going to come. I mean, we kind of said it would come the day of the draft, one day sooner than it would be later. We didn't want to see that, but we knew that was a danger. And through the years of the last couple of years of his neck injuries, we knew it was coming. We hope it wasn't coming. Now, and of course, after the last injury, we knew this day was definitely coming. We released him, and now he's officially, retiring from the NFL. We will get $2 million back. So get ready. I don't know if we got it already on the release or it's official now, but either way, whether we're at $8 million now and we already got the $2 million, or we're going to go to $10 million because we get some money back in LVE. He does get us back about $2 million. I think that might have happened the day we released him, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, we got about $7 to $10 million in cap space, and LVE is gone. We got Kendricks number 50 now to replace LVE. So Eric Kendricks, yes, wearing number 50. He's numberless there. But he'll be number 50 for the Cowboys, Devin Harper, and then before that, Sean Lee. So Kendricks will be 50. He's the one taking over for LVE's role right now coming into this season. And honestly, that's that. That's all we can do. We knew all this was the direction things were heading. Now that LVE's retired and we got Kendricks, that linebacking position, that spot, has officially been refilled. Has been filled with Eric Kendricks. So, moving on there and hoping the best for LVE.
Yeah, so, and one thing I do want to point out, I do think it's a little bit different. Time catches up to everybody. Most people don't retire, because they're feeling great, right? But this specific type of medical retirement, the way that he had to hang his cleats up, it is a little different. It does hurt a little bit more, right? I do think it's a little bit different. Mike Aldana. So, but again, end of an era.
Yeah.
I still, the final comment I personally will say is I am still, I said this, I think, about a week ago now. Draft will be O-line. Obviously, left tackle, very, very strongly implied, but I'm just saying O-line. Linebacker, second round, third round running back. So I'm gonna stick to that, and the only reason I throw that out there is just because I know I saw someone asking what do you think the Cowboys are gonna pick, in the first 3 rounds or whatever. Just reminded me that the moves and everything, the way that it's going, it still feels like it lines up very closely to that. Obviously, you can maybe shuffle some of those positions around if you wanted to, but I don't see why you would.
It'll be interesting for sure. Nonetheless, it'll be a very interesting rest of this offseason. Unfortunately for us, the Cowboys have made it interesting on purpose because they want to hold back the money from signing people, and that's what they're doing. We signed our own. One guy off another team, Eric Kendricks, to replace LVE, and that's it. So Guys, we'll be back tomorrow for, well, no, tomorrow I don't think we're back. Guys, tomorrow is a night we cannot make it here, I don't think. Unless some major stuff happens, we will make a quickie and we'll go live for a real quick one, but it won't be in-depth like we usually do it. It'll be a quicker stream as well. The probability is we don't go live tomorrow, so don't be surprised if we're not live. If you watch us in the replay, leave your comments down below. But we will definitely be back the rest of the week, bringing the news, info, and updates, and all the free agent moves from our Cowboys, or the lack of free agent moves from our Cowboys. We got 5 guys left on this team that are our guys that are out there in free agency that are still unsigned, plus a bunch of unsigned guys that could help this team. So there's a lot of moves still to make, in my opinion, for the Cowboys, but we shall see how this thing goes. Of course, there's always the After Dark session, guys, and tonight we may have a short one over there, a chill one. So go over there and check it out if you want. Tomorrow, I don't think it'll be either of these. Tomorrow, we're going to be very busy. If there's anything, it'll be a very late. You'll see me appearing on someone's channel or something. So, but tonight, a little After Dark fun, and then we're back at it on Wednesday night for another My Cowboys Family right here with all the news, info, and updates from Tuesday and Wednesday in full, in detail, in a big wrap-up show here on Wednesday night here at MCF. So, baby, let's get some. I'm going to shout out the people representing our boards here, like the sponsor of the week and the king of the Cash App. You know him, Dead Fool in the house. Much love, especially in the after dark hours. Woo. So appreciate Dead Fool there. Marco Seppian rocking it here. You know he's always rocking it here with 61 points in the stream boss. And Jason Renfro is the gifting champ. Much love to him with that 3. Dropping that Brandon Cooks 3 gifted memberships there last week for the win. Now, as far as this week, nobody in the gifting side of things. So there's no gifting leader, but there is a Cash App leader, and his name is SCO971. Currently in first place with 10 in the Cash App from basically After Dark. So appreciate him. He's the leader on that side, but not on the overall board. The overall board is a tie. Mary Alvarez and Marissa Sparkle both tied for first place with that star level membership. So they're in first place right now, all by themselves. While you have Dwayne Broussard and Calvin Richard tied for the next spot there. And then Skeptical Fan and Jason Renfro bringing up the rear. So appreciate all of you guys hanging with us, dropping the love from above. It's time to get the shout-outs done in the chat, baby. Let's do it. Who's in the house?
We have Matt Batten, even you, Lee's side. Louis Ortiz, much love. Chalk to my 10808, repping it. Lost in Translation podcast. And yes, at least he is able to, actually walk away
and I'm sorry,
from the game.
I'm sorry, Sco is in third while Dwayne and Calvin are tied for fourth. My fault. But yes, thankfully he is able to have a healthy life here on out, hopefully, for LVE. Agree.
So Mike Aldana, much love. Asmodeus representing. We have Matt Batten in the house.
Yeah.
Mike Aldana, have a great night. Rolando Rodriguez, Dallas Cowboy 92. Yes, it is definitely the end of an era. Pioneer, have a good night. Revelation Journalist, take it easy. Let me see. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. Marissa Sparkle, much love.
Hey, Marissa, in the house, on that board.
Let's see, Kenzie Bands, Chris Bina, Calvin Richards. Let me come back down, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yeah, I think that's everybody here. So
we're wrapping it up. See you on After Dark in an hour or so. Guys, you know why we do this every night, but I want you to tell everybody why we do this here on MCF every single night on My Cowboys Family, talking about our beloved team. Why do we do this?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. As you can see, we always rep that star over everything. And guys, almost 7 years in July. When we hit July 1st, it's 7 years. I'm being on YouTube as My Cowboys Family. So for almost 7 years on YouTube, here at My Cowboys Family, never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! We got 5. We got to get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. We're back at it on Wednesday here. We are on Tito Tuesdays tonight. Officially, it's Tuesday here on the East Coast and Central. So it's Tito's Tuesday tonight at After Dark. And, tomorrow is an off night for us. We have a lot of stuff going on with other things outside, but back on Wednesday, re-rocking it here with the news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys. So thank you guys for the drops of knowledge. Appreciate and humbled by the drops of love from above. Can't do this without your guys' support on that side of things. And of course, as we clock out and drop out for the night, relock and reload for another show after dark tonight on Wednesday, right here. Never forget the number one thing before we can jump out and drop out for the night, baby. What do we gotta do?
We gotta drop the beat.
That was a quickie there. That was a cowboy quickie. Hey, this was under an hour and a half to the stream, so hey, we got it done. Got all the info in under the bell, and it was important. I'm glad we're all on the same page now. All right, we'll see you all back here, if not tomorrow for a quickie, on Wednesday for another one, and continue the thing, and of course on After Dark if you're awake in the insomniac hours that I live. Guys, thank you again as we wrap up the news, info, and updates tonight here on MCF. And another Cowboys chat, baby. You know how this goes. Dak and Jerry speaking, getting some money opened up on the cap. Steven's always watching. Some goodbyes today from LVE, from Tyron Smith, and Zach Martin saying goodbye back. Rico Dowdle not saying goodbye. He's back for pennies. But I said Dak opened up millions for the Cowboys with some voided years. We talked about it all and more right here. Check it out if you missed it. As well as Kendricks getting number 50 for our Cowboys. Here in MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing here on this channel. Much love to everyone in the house, even them haters. Make sure you guys don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and continue growing the channel. And hit that notification bell. Put it to all videos. Put them on all videos so you know we're going live. You can know we're going live through Discord. You can follow us at all social media, especially Twitter, X, at MyCowboysFamily, and all the information is all in the description down below, so check it out. If you're watching us in the replay, hit the like and leave a comment. Much love to everybody. Have a great night, safe night. We'll see you later. Peace, and never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.